to Mr. Pankaj Poddar, Group CEO at Cosmo first. Why? Because they have recently bought Petsy store online business. What is the growth potential of this new acquisition? What is the growth outlook for the company? We'll talk all about that with Mr. Poddar. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us this afternoon on ET Now. And my first question is going to be on the acquisition of Petsy, the store growth there. What is the potential there? What is the synergy that we'll be seeing from this acquisition for the company?
Hi. So, Zigli till now has established itself as a strong player in the northern part of India. We have set up stores in Delhi, Gurgaon, and Chandigarh cities. And we also have got online presence through our first app for the country as well as our website. Now, this Petsy company is quite strong in the western part of the country, though obviously they're an online platform. And with this acquisition, now we'll have warehousing capabilities, also a database of several customers that they had. So the logic for this acquisition was to become stronger, faster in the western part of the country, along with acquiring their workforce as well as the entire knowledge that they had in the last 4 years in terms of how to do the online trading and they have some very stable customers. Their ROAS.
Percent. How do you see this growing for your company? Will it be 25% or will we see a better growth rate in terms of this business?
We'll certainly grow much more than 25%. We expect that we should be 4 to 5 times of our last year revenue. And this industry is getting more organized. Pet parents were earlier always had issues with the service quality and so on. So what we have tried doing with Zigli is to provide the entire ecosystem to the pet parents, whether in terms of any kind of service, whether it's grooming, diagnostics, veterinary services, behavioral science, and so on. And similarly, we have come out with a very diverse range of products, whether these are best of the quality of Indian products or from overseas, as well as bringing our own private labels as such.
So, given the strong growth potential of this pet care business and given this acquisition that you have done, first part of the question is, are you looking to do any more acquisitions going forward? And secondly, are you planning to demerge the pet care business into a separate listed entity?
Yes, so we are evaluating more acquisitions and we'll be happy to do more acquisitions in this space. It's a very unorganized market, as I said before. There are a lot of small players all over the country. So to expand faster, we would certainly look forward to either acquire online space or in the offline space in the pet care as such. And as far as the demerging our own business is concerned, we had earlier given a 3-year period and we stick to that. That once we attain some scale, we will be demerging it and making it as a separate company other than the film operations.
So moving on to your mainstay commodity films business. Now in fourth quarter, we had seen a sharp pressure on your margins because of weak prices. But has there been any improvement on that front in the first quarter of FY24 so far? How have been the margins trending on this for this business?
So Cosmo is largely a specialty player. We have close to 65% of our volumes into specialty. Obviously, last 2-3 quarters, there was a lot of pressure on the remaining 35% of a commodity, which some of the films were actually selling at a loss. And even the new polyester, which is also meant to be largely a specialty business, but initially we had to start with commodity because specialty doesn't happen overnight. So there were a lot of pressure, and in fact, in the domestic market, some of these films were getting sold at even a negative margin. Things have certainly improved in last 1.5 months. And we feel that the worst should be behind us now, and things should only improve, especially when it comes to BOPP, which is our major part of the business. We feel that the margins should continue to improve and come to some reasonable levels.
Also, sir, have the revenues improved when it comes to the European market for you?
The European markets are still going through a tough time. However, having said that, again, we have seen some improvements happening in last 1.5-2 months. But then again, there's a lot more to happen. It's just the beginning of some improvement, both in the domestic market and the European market. As what we see is that each passing quarter, we should see an improvement. The March, I would say from February to April were kind of the worst months. May onwards, we have seen improvement. June is even better than May. And what we feel is that as the months progresses, we should continue to see more improvement in both Europe and India.
Also, Mr. Poddar, I just wanted to understand in terms of consumption trends, from the FMCG sector, how is that shaping up? Anything of a sluggishness that you're seeing there?
Not really, perhaps what's really happening is a lot of challenger brands are coming up. But if you see the demand overall, the demand continues to go up because middle class is growing, the families are getting smaller, people don't want to cook as much as they used to earlier. All those factors put together, more focus on hygiene. I mean, we see across segments, we see only a growth in terms of whether it is lamination, packaging, synthetic paper, labels, all across different sectors we see growth, and the trend should continue to happen in a country like India where the overall consumption is still very low versus what's consumed in the in the international markets. The second thing is increasingly India is becoming an export hub, and companies all over the world are looking at India to supply these specialized films. People have started to realize that Indian companies are investing on research and development in terms of bringing new technology. So with all those things, we feel that
Right.
both the domestic and
Hmm.
export should really be better for India.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Poddar, thank you so much for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now and giving us an understanding of the company and what should we be expecting going forward.